So they actually call it, so it's not just, and also this theory, the psychological and sociological theory, is not just about fandoms and shippers. It can also be it can also be about like uh just people who have the tendency to create cults. They have this ability to make people follow them. Okay, so it's not just about shippers. So they call this the shared psychotic disorder. If you are um Jimin's penguin here is right beside me. So if you are a psych student or a psych major, or if you are a psychologist or a psychiatrist, please feel free to contribute. So they call this the shared psychotic disorder. I don't know how to pronounce the French word for it, but there's actually several types of it. But the most common is the madness of two and the madness of many. So it's actually subdivided into two different disorders, but it is a psychological disorder. um the images are AI generated, they're not real people. I chose to do it this way because I don't want to to identify anybody as delusional or someone with mental disorder. So it's actually a rare psychiatric phenomenon where delusions are transferred from one individual to another or spread among groups. So this is actually how cults happen. They have this. So how the shared psychotic behavior develops? It's called SPD. That is the acronym, and typically it involves one dominant person. So there is a leader, the one that starts this idea, and then you have the followers or the secondary. So the previous one is the primary, and then the followers, they call that the secondary. So the secondary is the one who is gullible and vulnerable. They adopt to any kind of belief that they think will bond them or will make them stronger. Okay. Usually they're very, very insecure, like a cult, exactly. So, how the behavior develops it, if you are isolated from the world, you have the tendency to have, if you don't have strong relationships, I don't want you to take it the wrong way. If you are a, if you are a, an introvert, it doesn't mean that you are susceptible to becoming a secondary. It is if you don't have strong relationships with anybody. When you are isolated from external reality, that's when you become susceptible to becoming a secondary. If another way is if you are psychologically vulnerable. So the followers may have low self-esteem, they have anxiety or a need to belong, making them more susceptible. So again, it goes back into relationships. People with not a lot of strong relationships with other people, it can be family or friends, or you're not pursuing any kind of passion, or you're not doing anything productive in your life, you become more susceptible to becoming a secondary. So you're the follower. So, a lot of groups are actually followers. How the behavior, I'm talking about like Korean groups, like musical groups, how the behavior develops. So, how does it grow? So that part, the first part is who are more susceptible to becoming a secondary. But how does it grow? How does it develop? Reinforcement through group dynamics. So the more delusion is repeated within the group, the more real it feels to everyone involved. And so this is when you get more of the same, right? So on social media, when the platform or the algorithm realize that you like this ship, you like Jane Smith and and John Smith together. That's what you like. So if the algorithm knows that that's what you like, the algorithm will feed you more of the same. And so the tendency is for you to build a community who share the same belief. And since you share the same belief, among you, you'll just keep on repeating the theory. And the more it is repeated, the more real it becomes. Okay. So, for you to not be susceptible to this, make sure that you consciously search for the other side of the information. Examples of shared psychotic behavior. This next two slides are going to be a little heavy if you don't want, um, it involves some people getting unalived. So if you don't want to hear it, I suggest mute me for the next 5 minutes. Okay. I'm waiting just so I can give people a chance to mute me. Or maybe turn away from the screen for about a minute or two, because it is heavy. So if it's going to trigger you, please move away from the screen or mute me for the next 5 minutes. Okay. I'm just waiting just to give people the opportunity to actually mute me and move away from the screen or end the stream if it's really going to trigger them. Okay. All right. Now, examples of shared psychotic behavior. So, one last disclaimer. The next two slides are going to be heavy. I am going to mention a group unaliving somebody else. Disclaimer. So if you don't want to hear it, if it's going to trigger you, please stop and please mute me or turn away from the screen. Okay. So examples of a shared behavior. There are two young women, young girls, in Wisconsin who actually unalive their friend because the both of them believe that the Slender Man is real, and they wanted to make the Slender Man happy, and so they attacked their friend, and their friend didn't make it. Okay. So they were minors when this thing happened. So it's Anissa and Morgan. This happened 10 years ago and they are up for parole, I think. All right. So you remember that case? Okay, so the Slender Man is this guy that became so popular in a website. This is not real. This is a made up character, obviously. Look at that. So it's a made up character, but to these two girls, this character became so real, and they wanted to do what they think this character will want them to do. And so they unalive their friend for a character that's not even real, and it's not even mainstream. Like, this is just in one website. Creepypasta. There you go. That's the website where it became very popular, the creepypasta. Okay. So, um, By Explorer said, Tez said, to get out of their delusion, it's not healthy there. Lara said, I saw the docu about the Slender Man. The friend was sort of a sacrifice, yes, up for parole because they were teens when it happened. Yes, so they were teens. Let me pull up some more information here. Okay. So yeah, so they believe that they are going to make the Slender Man happy if they unalive their friends. So that's what they did. And yes, they are up for parole. I think they were like 13 when that happened. Okay, so obviously that's so dark, right? But it can also be not so dark, but still bad, like the shared psychotic behavior in online fandoms. So in shipping, many of these people believe in the secret evidence theories. So you will hear a lot of people saying, oh, they want what our ship wants. Like, for example, Jane Smith, they want what let's say they want what David and Ken have. They want it for their ship, but their ship is not real, mine is real. You will also hear things like, it's not a secret, it's private. This is my favorite. I'm like, that is so good. Like that is such a good one liner. It's not secret, it's private. Oh, they can't hide it. Like they will edit clips of the two, and they will just frame it as if it's something malicious or something like that. They also believe in hidden messages or paranoia. Usually they blame the agency, saying that the agency is trying to stop their ship because it's not their favorite, or they want the one of the two to be paired with somebody else or something. So they insist that the agency is actually hiding the truth, that it is the agency forcing and pressuring one of the two to not admit to the relationship. So why do people fall into the shared delusions? There are two types of reasons: psychological and sociological reasons. So the psychological one is what I studied when I wanted to take my second degree, which I probably will still continue at some point. I'm going to continue that. Okay, so there is cognitive dissonance. When faced with contradictory evidence, they reject reality rather than admitting that they are wrong. So, for example, a lot of armies are actually making an effort to explain that the video that they saw is wrongly and maliciously edited. Like they will show this is the whole video, and you cut like 0.05 seconds of it and slowed it down 100 times to make it appear as if they are about to kiss, something like that. Um, Man DJ, Fair Lane, you just said the Tekok motto, private but not secret. I did not know that that came from them. Okay, so I just hear it a lot. I just hear it a lot on X. Okay, so instead of actually admitting that, the tendency is for them to further reject it. The other thing is social identity. A lot of people simply feel that they belong to this community, so they don't want to change their point of view in the uh because they're afraid of risking of losing that community. And of course, emotional projection. It's actually what they want, but because they can't have it, then they just insist that the person that they like is the one who has it. Okay, so they project their emotional frustration on the favorite, on that idol. Okay, the other is sociological. The other is a sociological reason. It's a set of reasons. All of it are sociological. Groupthink is one of the things that come into mind. It's a little different from bandwagon, but it is connected. When people only interact with those who agree with them, they reinforce each other's belief. So in a bandwagon, someone starts something and everyone joins in. In a group think, your tendency is to go and pursue groups that will agree with what you think in. So that's what they call group think. And sometimes because you're so invested in that group, even if you already know you're doing something wrong, you don't want to stop because you're going to lose that group. Then there's that is connected to this, the fear of social rejection, because you feel like if you shift, you're going to lose that community. And then there's the ever present internet echo chamber. Social media platforms amplify misinformation and create environments where only one perspective is validated. So that's why I keep on saying if there is an issue, actively search for both sides from two different opposing sources. So, for example, and this is just an example, you're searching for whether or not eggs are bad, right? Because we hear a lot that eggs are actually not healthy. Okay, so there will be two sides to it: those people that will say eggs are bad, and those people that will say eggs are good. So look for those two people. Don't count on the person who's saying that eggs are good to give you the point of view of why it is also bad. Make sure that you get the perspective of two health professionals and those who've actually gone through the experience, so that you know you have a balanced opinion. um and by the way, like I do fasting. I do 16/8, and Someone sent me a study on why fasting can actually kill you. And guess who sponsored the study? Guess who sponsored it? You can guess who sponsored that study. Morning cereals. Because I think a lot of them are realizing, okay, we're losing our customers. We're going to have to scare them so that they stop doing fasting. Okay. Um, McDonald's and those cereals. So if you try to stop these people, the tendency of a lot of us, because we don't have the time to waste, we don't have any more F's to give. We're busy with our lives, surviving, raising families, going to work, other things. So our tendency is to actually just ignore them. But the truth is that if you ignore them, it's not going to make them stop. It's just going to stop you from hearing them. But they themselves won't stop. In fact, many of them will probably double down on their belief. Um, I've been trying to explain reality to people. And others will lose interest over time. If you just leave them be, they are going to most likely lose interest over time. And some, however, will become more aggressive. So if you don't pay attention to them, people are going to relentlessly attack you even more because what they want is a reaction from you. Report and move on. And then there are those who will develop further bad theories, will further miscontextualize information to continue feeding into their own reality. And in rare cases, they can actually become more dangerous. So, and this is not just on, I'm not just talking about like dangerous physically. Some of them, they will become more dangerous verbally or online, or they will become more dangerous to themselves. So, because I guess I am more visible, like a lot of these shippers, they continue to I don't respond anymore. I don't have time. Like I would rather, if I have time to respond to anybody online, to any message online, I would rather respond to people that need help or are actually giving me valuable information or asking questions that I know I can answer, or just people that are sending positive messages, right? I would rather spend my time on those people, on you, rather than them. But many of them continue and relentlessly send me messages. Like if you hear many of the messages that they, if you read a lot of the messages that they send me, it's like, are you, I can't believe you're talking to some, like this is not, I can't believe that you have the capability to even think about these things, let alone actually communicate it. Like the things that they say, I wouldn't even say to the worst of my enemy. And so it's just this, it doesn't, some of them will stop, but many of them will actually continue. So I think the goal, because you're not going to make them stop anyway. And at the end of the day, you can only take care of yourself. So just ignore, report, mute, block. KG said, I send a lot of video to Hybe. That is good. Didn't V and JK just win in court against someone? Yes. So they won. Uh, they won. What's that? Let me pull up the case here. I think they got paid like here. Ah, wait. See, I'm still not used to this. So I'm still feeling my way around it. Okay. So 76 million won payment to V and Jungkook from the YouTuber. So the thing is that this girl has vowed to not stop. Sorry. Do you see it? No, you don't. Are you seeing it on my screen? No. There. So the this girl who refuses to show her face, um, and I advise her. I mean, I think she shouldn't. Otherwise, she's gonna get clobbered. So she vowed to not stop. She isn't regretting anything that she has done, and she insists that she has the right to say the things that she has said, and will continue to say them because it's her right to state her opinion. Celeste is saying goodbye. Goodbye, Celeste. Thank you. Still not visible. I thought it was visible earlier. Okay. Let's see. Maybe here. No. Add. Okay. Screen share. I'm still getting used to it. Now, is it visible? The article? No? Maybe if I do that, I don't know. I will get used to this. I promise you someday. Dispatch, Dispatch need to release her photo. I think they're trying to take a photo of her, but she's very good at avoiding photographers. And yeah, I think she's just good at really avoiding photographers. I don't know how to share it. I was able to share it earlier. I was able to share maybe here. Maybe here. Maybe I can change this. Just me. I will figure it out next time. I don't know how to share it. Screen. There. You see it, right? Okay, I finally got it. I don't know what I did, but I got it. So, yeah, I think she is trying to. I think Dispatch is definitely trying to get a photo of her, but she's really good at nudging the photographers, at like avoiding the photographers. So, Bora Winkle said, sometimes I think the ship wars benefit the company in some way because instead of doing something to stop it, they let the shippers create their own narratives that turn into view and engagement. Um, so someone actually said that, like, to stop all of this, why will the agency not address it and say, stop it? They're not in a relationship. Stop all of those delusions. And I think the answer to that goes back into their own behavior, the cognitive dissonance. If you address it, you're making them realize that you see them and that they are impactful enough to warrant a response. That is why when they bombard companies or other accounts, uh, they consider it a victory if the other account does not respond. So, regardless, because they consider it a victory if the other account responds, regardless of what the response is. And I've actually seen this firsthand. I've seen someone, oh, they are seeing us, continue doing it, like continue doing it, continue getting in touch with them because they're seeing us. they're hearing us to continue doing it. So you're, in other words, going to validate them. Remember, these people are not normal. They're not thinking normally. And so to us, even to us, we know that that is not healthy and that is not the intention of the company, but to them, they're going to interpret that differently. So why why justify their existence by acknowledging it when you can just ignore them? If you respond again, you're just going to validate their existence. You're making them realize that they are powerful and big enough to warrant a response. Just think about it this way. if if a worm gives you an opinion on how you're living your life, are you going to respond to that worm? It's a single cell life form, right? So I respond to that. Like, you do not matter to me. You're a worm. I have absolutely you have no credence in my life. And so that is the same thing with acknowledging these people. You're simply going to validate their existence. Shippers, yeah. So Eva said shippers love to get the attention. Jessica said the YouTuber that Tae and Jungkook just sued celebrated that Tae saw her defamatory YouTube videos. See, exactly that. Like, to her, even though she's being asked to pay, for her it's a victory. Oh, because they're gonna think, so you saw my video, right? So you saw my video. So that means I'm valid, like I'm popular, I matter because you're actually watching my video. Some I hate. I some Here, Melanie said, sometimes I hate those toxic shippers too. They start to call out members in animal names now. They've been doing that for a while. Um, so they've been doing that for a while. Oh. They've been doing that for a while now. I've seen them call the members, other members, like all types of vile names. And I know that a lot of people will think that they are just directing their hate to one other member. No, it's that one other member is usually the receiver of their hate, but they also hate on other members. And also, I'm talking about all other shippers, not just the shipper of these two, all other shippers. Animal names. Yep, they call them animal names. Yes. I don't want to repeat them because it's not um just like, just I don't want to validate their delusions. But yes, they do call them animal names. It's, again, most commonly it's that one member of the group, but it's not the only member that they direct their hate to. The others get hate as well. And again, it's not just that shipper, it's all the other shippers of all the other ships. And it's not just BTS, even others as well. Okay, that's disgusting. It is disgusting. Elizabeth said it's the only thing she hangs on to. Of course, she's gonna flaunt about it to deflect her bad actions. Yeah, she's gonna, and I don't think it's I don't think it's just because she's hanging on to it. I think she honestly thinks it's a validation in her mind. Remember, for you to do something like this, you must be not in the right mind, right? No normal person will do this. So for you to do this, there's something wrong with the way things are wired inside your head. So yeah. So definitely I do think, um I think it's not just because she's looking for a way to sort of validate what she's doing. It's just that I think for her it's really a validation of what she's doing. She thinks that, oh, you're seeing what I'm creating, so it means I'm validated, like I'm popular, I have an impact, and that I matter.